Hi, I'm Christy Wilson, and this podcast is all about my most memorable educational experience. The award definitely goes to Mr. Philpott and his 9th grade honors world history class. Every incoming 7th grader at Hoover Junior High figured out quickly who Mr. Philpott was, and we couldn't wait for the day when he would be our teacher, if we were in that lucky group. He dressed a little retro, very 70s, even though it was 1990, and he drove a huge vintage Buick from the 1950s. He had the largest classroom in the school, with elevated rows, kind of like stadium seating. At a time when most of my teachers presented lectures based on the textbook, followed by a weekly test, Mr. Philpott was different. He presented his lessons, which had the potential to be very dull, more like storytelling sessions than lectures. He had us all enthralled and engaged and looking forward to the next day's class. We had to memorize historical songs like the Marines hymn, the Halls of Montezuma, and we watched movies like The Scarlet Pimpernel and Spartacus. We made maps reflecting various battles and border changes across the world. At the mid-year point, we had a big historical art fair, comprised of projects that we all made based on some aspect of world history. There were Eiffel Towers made of toothpicks, European castles made out of clay. I made a shield used in some battle during the Crusades. But the very best part of Mr. Philpott's 9th grade world history class came in May, the 50s show. We had been studying that time period in class, post-World War II, when everyone broke out of their shells and rock and roll was born. Mr. Philpott found a way to weave the rock and roll of that era into his lessons, and as a music lover, this appealed to me. But the 50s show itself was the most exciting part. It was a huge production that every kid in the school looked forward to, whether they were performing or not. The boys wore white t-shirts and slicked back their hair, and they all looked like Danny from Grease. And the girls all wore poodle skirts with crinolines and ponytails. We would all lip-sync to clips from 50s music, some as solos or ensemble parts. I got to lip-sync the Name Game. I did the Linda Ronstadt part in To Know Him Is to Love Him, and I got to be Mary Lou from the Ricky Nelson song, dancing around the stage. School was not always easy for me. I have ADHD and struggle with the memory issues that go along with it, but Mr. Philpott showed me that school could be fun and interesting. He motivated me to work hard to succeed, and because I was an enthusiastic and successful participant in his class, that success carried over into my other classes and throughout my high school career. Because Mr. Philpott strayed from the traditional read, lecture, test teaching model, he broke through to a non-traditional learner like me. Mr. Philpott's history class was incredible and memorable and wonderful, and I can only hope that I reach my students the same way he reached me. I still have that poodle skirt too. I hope you enjoyed listening to my podcast. See you next time.